I am such a child of the 90s. I am that kid that would just like sit down 6 inches from MTV anytime my parents left me unattended and then turn it off really fast if they were coming down the stairs.
It's so cool.
This era of computers and keyboards is exactly how I grew up.
I remember like sitting at my dad's computer in his office listening to those crazy modem screeches.
You hear the... Isn't that just the soundtrack of a certain portion of our lives?
Is AOL really that afraid of the open internet?
Well, it's either that or we crush you.
I specifically remember from the 90s is the AOL discs. We get one in the mail every week here at my house. How can they just be sending out $15 discs? How many websites now? 561.
I remember going on America Online, and you had to come up with a username. Shuba1019@AOL.com was my first email address.
It's pre-social media, it's pre-texting. It's when people had face-to-face conversations. I just remember that the 90s were a happier time.
Inline images, web form support, available on every platform.
I remember the first browser, like search engine, is Ask Jeeves, and you had to phrase your query in the form of a question, and he was like a butler. Which seems so quaint now and at the time was utterly revolutionary. Also, I was 14. I shudder to think of what my search history was like then.
I'm good at this.
Arcades we would go to were kind of giving way to these home consoles, and you'd go to your friend's house and play Mortal Kombat.
You want to play Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
I had some good drunken 90s in Lower East Side, New York. I don't know these 90s.
It's really fun to revisit the 90s and to see the grunge movement.
The idea of revisiting these clothes, the terrible, middle part haircut.
Joe has a real Kurt Cobain thing going on.
Man, you really brought the Southwest in here, didn't you, Gordon?
Easy.
If you weren't really up on what was maybe the most sophisticated, but you still wanted to have a style, that Southwestern thing is something that was very real.
You had a computer room in your house. The computer room was where my dad had his Bowflex that he never used.
Thank God the high-waisted pant isn't as high as it was in the 80s.
It's funny. Women were really down with creating a long lower body.
It's fascinating.
I think this kind of technology was kind of rising up around us. There was this feeling of fullness in the country that I think was just kind of taken for granted. And a big part of that was kind of fueled by this money that was coming out of tech.